Greetings to all life forms and life workers who have found this live demonstration of psychic services. Today is Ancestor and Oracle Day here on the Third Eye Line. So I want to thank all the ancestors and all of the alchemists that will be joining us. There's quite a few already, and more and more will show up. So I'm going to jump right in here. Hello. So the Alchemists and Ancestors today, message here for each and every person. I will, out of order, give 8 messages from the Ancestors and Alchemists today. Okay. First message from the Ancestors through the Alchemists is to take your power back. Your Sagittarius in reverse. You do not feel grounded, centered, motivated, driven. These are things that are stripped from people societally. And when we can master these processes, then we can change our vortex and focus our aim. We know exactly where we're shooting. And when we see where we're going, when we hit that ball, step through the par, and we know where we're going. And we're taking that next step deliberately and energetically. The strings are all attached. Every string in reality is connected to each other string. The echoes transcend. And there's dance and music and laughter, creation, passion, vision, and connection everywhere. Kuan Yin says so. And when one of the 12 gods in this deck show up, it's very important messages. It's kind of like the major arcana of the deck. I have a 24 major. So if you have your question, you can ask and choose a deck of you. I'll do that for you. And the ancestors, alchemists, always want you to know, whoever you are, when you're hearing this now or in the future, remember that your light shines, even when you're in the most darkest place, even when you can't see your light. The other people, you're a lighthouse. You are attracting light to you always. So know that when you hermit yourself, you're actually attracting larger entities that normally would never come towards the light to you. Eternity, the infinite void, and the alwaysness forever can change and morph and adapt and modify and transmorgify things into all the different forms of reality. And so by thinking this way, your thoughts amplify the water code and they make the energies appear in their unique crystalline structures. Hello. Hello, Monica. If you have a question, you can ask and choose a deck, or you can just receive the daily message from the Ancestors and Alchemists. I'm doing very well. So, alchemical message here. Know that 9, any aspects of 9, echo more so out of this universe, and we don't see where the end leads. So when we think we're lacking of anything, that means we're connected to an abundance. That means it's an 8 that's broken off. What is A's intention towards you? Okay. Yeah, fireworks going off a lot last night. Okay. And you can tell me when to stop, or I'll stop when the energies compel me. Yes. You can choose 1 through 8, and I will answer that after Monica. And as I'm shuffling, the ancestors and the alchemists have to say to anyone viewing now or in the future. These times that you live in are no coincidence. This message you're receiving is no coincidence. There is no coincidence. Every aspect of life happens based on divine choice of choices you've made. And when we see conflict and energy all around, these energies prevent us from experiencing the joyous beauty of the angelic realm, because we cannot see the energies and we do not allow the flow of balance, of chaos and harmony, that all things are balanced. But when we hold both cups, we're in control of that balance. Okay. So what is A's intention towards you? So mainly right now their intention is to put blocks inside you, to basically plant negative patternings, thought patternings that limit your power. They're trying to pin you and control your mental strength and your mastery of thought. But know that will never happen. The angels got you and will protect you. So that's not going to happen, but that's their intention, is to put mental blocks and barriers in you. They want to take away your feminine power, but you're, again, too strong. You can take them out because you're gleaming with energy, shining with the mind. So just remove all the blocks or seeds or negative patternings you see people try to plant on you, weaponized. It's like someone uh, making a dam on someone else's, and another. It's like dam warfare. It's the only way I can describe it. Like one beaver group hates another beaver group, so they like destroy each other's dams, or they plant it and they make dams to cut off the water so one dam doesn't flow. Hello. You may join. You can ask your question. Choose 1 through 8, and I will ask that when it becomes your turn. And I'll make a list. Always. But we can change these patternings by communicating and healing the hurt people, by allowing them to hear themselves, by just holding space for them and feeling their pain, and helps them heal it. They can give it to someone else, and if that someone else knows how to release it without causing themselves pain, then that's a true healer. or true shaman. So Amaris, if you're, we can just, the first one I receive here, you can go 1 through 8. If you just want a personalized message from the Ancestors and the Alchemists. But know that you are always in balance. You always hold the balance of your reality. Just continue to build and do not be focused on the skies. Know that the entities you want to contact will come to you when you are building instead of when you're waiting for them. You always have guests in the middle of the very height of your building process, I find. Okay, deck number 8. So you can tell me when to stop, and I'll give you the general message from the Ancestors and the Alchemists. And you chose that Ancestor deck here. This is from the 1400s, the 15th century, and the Hermit is the alchemist in this deck, and his alchemical symbol is the hourglass. That's not dripping sand. He is controlling the hourglass. Find your own type of crooked, find your own type of way. You might have to do that separate from everyone else, but no, you can still be part of the community. You can still be an elder, a wise person, a mentor, a friend. But you can also just go out on your own adventures and come back when you want. Stop. Ah, cool. I like this one. Okay. So let's say hello to the darkest friend in the room. So this is my favorite death ever. So this is the Archer of Death. So instead of a scythe, he has a bow, and he has his head wrapped with fabric, blowing in the wind. He is grounded, and between his feet grows a lotus. He is smiling. So this is to show that the ancestors, the ancients, the dead love you, are with you. This is the most ancestral ancestor. Death is a beautiful thing because death allows new life to grow. So think about the most beautiful flower you've ever seen, the one most beautiful flower. So if that one flower never died, its roots would go deep. It would prevent other flowers from growing. It would, over time, make all the flowers like that one flower. So this death allows each flower to be unique, each beautiful flower to come in, each snowflake to drop, each gust of wind to be different from every other gust of wind in time. And this is our friend. We shouldn't be afraid of this man, this entity, this creature, this concept. Death is our friend. And they want to tell that the power is infinite. The strength and motivation and energies exist forever. And they will always lead to abundance and the mastery of abundance and the beautiful ability to constantly create abundance over any situation. Because you always are creating it from the center, rippling out. You always master the community. Because what is life but connections with other people? Because that's what we remember. We rarely remember what we do alone. But our connections with other people is what we remember forever. And use and allow and communicate with those people what your plans to do so communicate with people your plans to do with your mastery of abundance. Just always remember that strength is multiplied in numbers, and always call upon the armies of the dead, because their spirits are of love, not darkness, of beauty and temporal time and space reality infinitely. Find where you're going, focus your intent, look where you're going, release the arrow, and know that where you're focusing, where you acknowledge, will always happen. So the bow is an alchemy symbol for its encoded meaning is mastery of focus, deliberation, and all other external variants, meaning wind conditioning, position, spin of the planet, spin of the sun, spin of the Milky Way, spin of the infinite cosmos. And find the perfect exact now to do it exactly the way you have to feel, is your message from the ancestors and the alchemists. Look up the symbols of bow and archery, and you will find a lot of wisdom. Is your homework from the from the alchemists. Say the symbol you should research is the bow and archery in general. Thank you, brother, sister, family, and everyone who views these videos. Love. So JJ, you can choose 1 through 8. Message from the alchemists is another symbol to Koshin here. Let's talk about one of my favorite cards in all of the tarot, and my favorite symbol. So the 8 of Wands generally is depicted with a cat, a black cat, but in this case it's a glass cat. The glass cat is a very, very awesome alchemical symbol that often is not decoded. So that glass cat in Oz is an alchemical symbol from the alchemists, is what they say, is that this is one of their symbols, the glass cat, of animating the inanimate, to take something that is not real and making it real. But by doing so, you are creating an entity with its own complexes, its own insecurities, its own stubbornness, thought patterning, programmed in based on what the exact ingredients of what this object is. I mean, you can add certain brains, but does that add different levels of ego to the animal once it becomes animate? And is it even an animal? What is it? Well, it's a symbol of alchemy, of taking one thing, a inanimate object, and turning it into a living, talking, conscious entity. And we can do that and create our own army and our own connection all around us. Okay, do you have a question, or would you like a general message from the ancestors and the alchemists? These thoughts about our relationship situation in the present. Okay, so you can tell me when to stop. The ancestors and the alchemists are going to tell me. Your choice. I know. I can feel it. But you're so magic, though. You got to always remember that. You're just such a magic entity. And oftentimes things have to die and go away, and it's okay to feel sorry and cry and be emotional about these things, because that's the only way that it makes space for the new to come. This is the message from this deck for anyone now or in the future is death, reapers, shadows, skeletons, darkness, the things we run away from, the most primal fear of humanity, is one of our most greatest allies and friends. If you know how to foster the relationship and understanding, to forgive yourself for hating death, for being afraid of magic, for not wanting to study or do things or experience magic, know that death is the most divine alchemical symbol. It's the symbol of renewance, of legacy. Nothing ever dies. Think of it this way. When we're alive, we create an echo with every single action, which ripples for infinitely. So no one ever dies, because people who can tap into the infinite can see those echoes, can bring those echoes in, and they have consciousness. Like the flying bird, skeletal bird in this whole reality. So her alchemical symbol is this key. So it's a super awesome symbol. We can. So this key is a symbol of the phases of the moon, and it says wisdom at the top of the key. So wisdom is the key to all. The key to wisdom is the phases of the moon, the tracking of multiple entities, of divine unions. So and your connection of the high priestess and everyone is the symbol of guiding two pillars, darkness and light, wisdom and ignorance, together, and knowing that both are beautiful and both are stable enough to build around. They just have to be in an equal balance. So you said stop. Okay. So the Knight of Cups, he really is sad, very sad. The Two of Wands in reverse. He's upset about this. So is a child. So there's a little boy somewhere that is also upset with what's going on with this relationship situation at the present. But he's probably going to come through, or he or she will probably come through, but the child, the male boy, is the he I was referring to, is also a child self, is also could be a alchemical message for the inner self, because this one is holding a message wrapped up in his hand. So think of it this way, and a very important symbol from the alchemist, a wound up written letter, handwritten letter, is an alchemical symbol of spling, of taking your intent, turning it into words, putting it on a physical media, and transmitting that media to another individual. And it's how the ancestors did it. And it's a symbol from the ancestors and the alchemists of the message we have for ourselves. That when we were children, we learned things that we forgot now. So they know things we don't know. So if we can get messages from them, if they give us their codexes, we can learn so much. And this child can educate. Childs are we've for centuries treated children terribly, where children are generally the wisest people on the planet. So, because they have their thymus gland activated and their pineal gland activated. Most adults do not. So D has to go out and begin to love himself and go on his own adventure and his own feelings first, but he is very much sorrow and crying and upset about what has happened. And in this deck, these are guns. So he's feeling violence, like he's afraid, and he thinks something bad might happen. There might be bigger ramifications than just your relationship, and he doesn't want anyone to get killed. And he thinks some people might die. And he's afraid for the child too. So, but the inner child being killed and attacked, I think there might be dream attack. So I recommend like sleep, listening to Hertz music, and while you sleep is a good way to help, is what the ancestors say. But they have to love themselves right now, and they're working on loving themselves, so they're not focusing on the relationship as much as they are focusing on themselves. But they also have a lot of information that they are not sharing and are having a hard time sharing with you. So if you can just open a different type of dialogue, have a different type of conversation at a different place and time than you normally do, you might see a positive change in the relationship, is what the ancestors are saying. Think about it. If you are telling someone a positive thing during a negative time, well, they're probably going to perceive it negatively. But and vice versa. So you want to align your message to the occasion that is happening, which will make it easier for someone to understand what they're saying. That's from the Ancestors and the Alchemists. There is no such thing as perfection. You're good enough now, and you always have been. Because the only difference between when you achieve perfection and now is you acknowledge that you're already perfect. Much love and gratitude. I love this one. This is such a beautiful message. So this is Princess Dorothy at the center of the Emerald City, which is the very exact center is this green dot, and it's a symbol of the center of magic. Dorothy came from a world like ours without magic, and when she thought she died, and when others thought she died, she ended up in the realm of magic, completely alive and well, but can be killed. But no one can be killed, but they can be disassembled and horribly treated and abused. They can't die. This realm has been called many things. And know that the people you have met, the experiences that have happened in your full range of experiences make you who you are. And I'll quickly go over the four. So I believe, and because he's both, is Elfingbaum is both an ancestor and an alchemist. So these are symbols. The Tin Woodsman is a symbol of perseverance. A man was destroyed by magic. Another man gave compassion and allowed and transformed that man into a tin man and kept the body of the previous man, because that man can never be killed. And both men exist and can meet each other and have met each other in the books. It's the alchemical symbol of the echo of who you are and the things you have created. and have been part of. The cowardly lion is a symbol of the strength we hold within us all, and that oftentimes we refuse to acknowledge, but everyone sees it because we are the bravest member of the team. So the cowardly lion is both the biggest coward who has the most amount of fear, but is also the one most likely to act. Why? Because they couldn't live with themselves if they didn't. They're afraid of it. Oh, they're paralyzed with fear until it comes time to act. Then they do it. And everybody relies on them because they are the strongest, but they think they are the weakest. Where Toto is the weakest and he thinks he is the strongest. Toto is a symbol of an entity that is bigger than its body. We may perceive this small creature, this small dog, which creates so much echo in the infinite void of space, time, that it's such a huger entity than the body that it is. And the love and energies that this small creature and its small heart creates. The scarecrow is the alchemic symbol of the inanimate object. So the object is alive, even though it shouldn't be, but its life is not what it is. That all life is both real, unreal, and infinite, but we just want to perceive it as one of the three. But all three are equal. Gender, male, female, and non, are all three together the same, if we want to see it that way. And I see it that way because everything is always triplicate. There's always a triple energy. So if you want to change, if you want to break the pole, find the third. If you think duality, you don't like this duality you're experiencing, find the third. And that's how you break the chain. You just smash it like an archer. You pull the string with the number 3. 2 is the bow, 3 is a launching arrow. And Dorothy is the symbol of unconditional love. Love from the deepest, most recesses of the heart, never ending, with infinite magic of love to you all. From the Ancestors and the Alchemists. So anyone here, do you have a question? Or just would like an energy forecast? So the glass cat is a really beautiful symbol. I want to give the message from the Emperor to the emperors and from the emperors. The Emperor is also an alchemist and an ancestor, and in this deck is all 3. To remember that you hold an infinite wealth of symbolic magic in the physical form that others could never perceive of. And that's what he's holding. And that's what's in his hand. That's the alchemical symbol. The symbolism of transformation that he holds. He has a wand in another hand, pointed upward from the palm of his hand, which is the symbolic and mystical creation method of instantaneous transformation through thought. It's like producing an antenna of your intention out into the infinite void. thus creating the exact reality you wish. Yes. Ask your question. Choose 1 through 8, or I can choose for you. Okay. You're getting are you okay? Are you getting admission in PhD? Will you qualify for PhD interview? Okay. So the ancestors and the alchemists say you can tell them when to stop, or you can say stop, and that think about it. How awesome it would be to just get that PhD. Like, think about that last day. When you do get the PhD, because you will, when you get that PhD, think about how rad it would be that very last day. And know that you can experience that radness right now. And you always can. Hello, hey. Welcome to the party. You can ask your question. If you have a question in particular, or just would like a message from the ancestors and the alchemists. Mediumship, free demo, and tarot. So that PhD interview, just think about it. How great it would be learning these things. How great it would be putting them into action. And think about how amazing that would make you feel. And so when you have the interview, because you will qualify for it. When you have the interview, think about, if you want to pass the interview, think about how amazing it would be to be doing these things and how to do them in the most beautiful way and how to master them in your own way that echoes beyond time and space, is infinite with everything at once, but creates this reality all around. The King of Wands. Is the alchemical message symbol, is the winged shield, the very top. So the winged shield with a ball on top is a symbol of ancient mysticism. So what it means is the shield is strength, passion, movement, and unity. The wings are flight, mastery of thought, and mastery of dimensionality. The crystal, or the all-seeing ball, is the symbol of the seed, the plant of all information, the floor, the source of all knowledge that each object, person, and place has, and that a master can tap into everything. So, Sandeep, you can tell me when to stop, and I will answer this for you, or I'll stop when I get compelled. And Cassandra, you can choose 1 through 8, and I will pick for you, or I can pick for you. Okay. So you, my friend, are very much going to get and perfectly get this. So I'm here to remind you that you, if no one else in your life is, that you are so cool and awesome and amazing and loved, that your movement is unlike everyone else's. What is difficult to everyone else will be easy for you. And know this and remember this, because your horses have wings. But if they never use them, they're just horses. But if they use them, they become Pegasi. And you have complete control over your movement. You do not have to climb the mountain. You do not have to cross the river. You do not have to cross the desert. You can fly over it. You are the mastery, and you will be successful doing it. Just remember that you have everything you need, and everything will last infinitely for you. This is a symbol of the infinite, connecting and growing out wealth, fully connected. Just do not let any females or in your life tell you you're not good enough, tell you you're not powerful enough, tell you deception of mystery. They're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of what could happen. So they tell you things and they plant these seeds. But you are the gardener. You choose which ones go in and which ones die. And you fly over any barriers of bush and briar and negativity built in. So you will receive this and just continue to master your thoughts. Open your forehead, open your mind to the mysteries. And the more of the mysteries you know, the more people will say false things about you and will doubt you and attack you, because you know more knowledge and you have more information than them, and they are afraid of it. But you will help so many people and help the whole world by getting this PhD that you already have. So thank you. I do. If you have a question or would like an energy reading, you can type that in the chat now, and I will give that after Cassandra's. Deck number 4. I'm down. I don't mind romance readings. That's what everyone mostly asks for now, but after the first romance reading, they asked some cool questions. You can type it here in the chat and choose 1 through 8, and I will do that after Cassandra's. Okay. So know where you're going. Be aware of your surroundings. Listen to what is going on around you. When we are not focused on what we are doing, we lose sight of the joy of what's happening. So this is about presentness. The very first card in the tarot is to tell us to be here now, to be present of what's happening now. It's the only way we can really progress through life's journey. We have to be aware of everything, but know that that is all we should be aware of. And whatever that is good, and know that your hunger, your passion for information, of wisdom, of knowledge will never be ceased. It will last forever. Just follow that. The hungry tiger is a symbol of the insatiable knowledge. that we will never learn everything. We will never experience everything. We will never do everything. But all the things we have done are beautiful, but we're still hungry. We're still thirsty for the next thing. Because your thirst doesn't mean starvation. Do not allow the wealth and connections you have be neglected based on thinking you're not good enough, that you're so hungry you can't eat. Well, then you're just going to keep being hungry, is what the symbol of this card is. You're so hungry you cannot eat. So you will starve to death until you eat. It's a mindset. Happiness is a state of mind. Walt Disney. Therese M., you can choose 1 through 8 and type your question here. You can post now. It's your turn. You can post a question and choose 1 through 8. And you can either tell me when to stop shuffling or shuffle when the energies compel me to. And there's a lot of alchemical symbols that I can tell you quickly. But the tiger with a bow around its tail is an alchemical symbol for the docilification of nature. We do not have to conquer nature. And that is how we create magical magic. I'll choose number 8, the deck of the Alchemists and of the Ancestors. Century, the Ancestor group and the Alchemist group were at their height of magic, and they created a lot of things in that 100 years. Modern tarot decks take some inspiration from this deck. You want to go to Canada as a student, and to do that, I have to pass a test. Will you pass it? Okay, tell me when to stop. But I see you in Canada. I don't know when, but it's strong. So I see you in Canada really strongly. And the alchemical message for anyone or in the future for this deck is the King Alchemist, the Magician. So this guy has everything he needs at his. He has a metal plate. He has a cup, a knife, 2 coins, a wand in the writing position, in the handwriting position. He is spelling on the table. He is casting spells on the table, and he has his other hand over the glass to create reflection so he can see. He is a seer and a speller. And those are 2 of the most ancient alchemical messages of creating your destiny based on all the possibilities around you. Whenever you could, some people just feel compelled to tell me when to stop, and some people like to have me choose. I allow both options. I want this to just be personal to each person. Okay. Okay, so you will pass this exam. No, I want you to choose a deck, Stephanie. Just choose 1 through 8, and then I'll give a message for everyone, if you would like, if you don't have anything in specific. because the ancestors and the alchemists got something to say to you. So thank you for showing up. And there's messages here for everyone. So please share if you have any friends that you think might like these messages. The replays of this video in particular, it will be encoded with decodes. So I'll give an alchemical symbol decode. Is a large four-headed woman reaching and holding a cosmic star who is pregnant with the universe. This is your message as well, Therese. I'm starting it just now for you. And here it is. Therese, is you are pregnant with the infinite universe. You will never not create the exact reality that you want to create. Just keep looking at your passions and your joys and experience them now. This is a message of being here now, being present with the pregnant moment of now, but knowing the mastery of thought and holding the power in the palm of your hand. Continue to love yourself, love what you do, and love all those around you. And by doing so, you will continuously be creating. Tarsum, thank you. All together, Tarsum. So know that, Tarsum, you have infinite love, infinite power, and infinite strength. Just remember what you're doing and why you're doing it. Write it down. To create spelling, symbols, to write what you feel, even if no one else sees it. Just write your excitement, your joy of how rad it will be when you finally make it to the point you want to get to. Write down how that would make you feel. And every day keep adding to it. And the more you write it down, the more you spell it, the more it becomes reality. Use writing to make reality happen. And do that out of love. And the magic will just happen, is your message. Yes, the infinite power of the creator of everything, whatever you want to call that, yeah. You're infinitely pregnant, infinitely passionate, and use your writing. Write down how you feel to make those so write down, I will pass this. I will have this. I will be happy. See, this is where I write. I am grateful for the things I want. So the idea is I'm grateful for being a successful tarot reader. I am grateful for being in a happy relationship. I am grateful for being present in this moment now. And just writing those things down makes it more and more true for yourself. And then it creates it out in the universe. And if anyone ever sees that, it activates it within them too. Pretty Patrick, hello. Much gratitude to you. So Stephanie, choose 1 through 8, and I'll give a message to everyone here if you would like. And Pretty Patrick, if you have a question or would like an energy forecast, you can type that in. I'll give another message for the collective. It's collectiveness, is to be collective, connected with everybody, to express your unity through echoing passion, to manifest it through what makes you happy and joyous. Okay, hoi polloi, the hoi polloi tarot. This is my ancestor deck. This was my great-grandmother's. So it's very ancestral magic. And it shows us the message from the hoi polloi is that as above, so below. Creates an infinite thought. And when we, of passion, of joy, And when we hold the infinite, we can create everything through anything. And know that we hold infinite magic and infinite power. That this power is based on giving. Giving is living and living is giving. And the master mage knows this. And by giving to others, by sharing your energies with others, you only gain more. So the kindness that you do here on my videos echoes out to the whole universe. It means that you're willing to receive more. And kindness you give to others echoes out that you are willing to receive more. And know that you're the master of your thoughts. You're the queen of your domain. And that when you can master your thoughts, mentalism, our mind creates our reality. And when we hold the infinite thought, we have infinite mastery. And the angels are a throne that we can create from. Stephanie, your personal message, and everyone here, is the most symbolic and alchemical female in the tarot. She has probably 60 symbols in this card. I'm not going to say all of them, but if you know what I'm talking about, there's about 60 plus symbols in this card. And hoi polloi is all I have to say about that. But the main symbol I want to tell you is she's holding a tarot scroll. So it's a scroll that teaches someone how to make their own tarot. This is a very powerful message, and it's a scroll that teaches people about the symbolism of tarot. When you research tarot, anyone here, know that it is backed by ancient magics that we do not fully understand. The tarot is cloaked in our veil. We do not see the full scroll, which means that we will never fully understand the tarot. But what we do understand is enough to be of service to others. And by being of service, we can rise passion from the dark and bring it to its highest potential. So, collective energy reading, look up tarot and keep researching it. You'll never find enough. If you're watching this, you should probably look up tarot because there's a lot of cool stuff in the tarot. Just know that you already know it. Oh, I do jewelry, and these are 2 different magic bracelets. And you asking means you are an alien. So this is our solar system with a codex I put in. So these are ceramic, triple repurposed. So I put a spell on this bracelet that only people who are aliens will ever say anything about it. Everyone else can't see it. So, Pretty Patrick, you are connected to the aliens very strongly. If not, you would not have noticed it at all. You have to not be from the solar system to see it. So I basically put a solar system spell on this. You have to be from one of these astral bodies to see this bracelet. If you are not born from that body, you have to either be born on the Earth, any of the planets, the surface of the sun, or the surface of the moon. If you're not born or any of these planets' moons, so if you're not from this solar system, then you can't see this. So you have past life connections outside of the solar system. That's my alchemy, is jewelry. This is my dog Stewie, who appeared in one of my videos. After he passed away, he had his ashes turned into a bead. So that's Mars. It's the Martian vibe. And this, he was a Cocker Spaniel, the color of his fur. He was blind. So I wear this every day to make this reality happen. So right hand is made of all types of materials. Each one's a different type of crystal. The red bead, though, is garnet. And there's multiple beads of multiple types. This one is wood, glass, and dog ash. I have a thing to share sometimes. So that is the first law of Hermetism, is mentalism. Our thoughts create reality. And this is showing you that you are incredibly powerful, and the things you think manifest instantaneously, no matter they're good or bad. And we have to master those thoughts to be a full alchemist, to fully chemically change something from one solid state to another solid state. So you most likely are past life Martian, like many, many past life Martian. Or come from the moons of Mars as well. Yes, so Pretty Patrick, I'll ask your guys if they have any messages for you. You can choose 1 through 8. And I'll do that for you. You will be my last one here. So that's the magician. So your thoughts create your reality and manifest it infinitely. That's why the magician's the first card in the tarot in most decks. So Pretty Patrick, just choose 1 through 8, and I will give you a energy reading. The Page of Wands is trust your childhood instinct, your inner power. This is the collective message for anyone reading now or in the future. That the inner child, the youthful energies you have, when we can tap into that, record it, and then monetize it, we will be the happiest version of ourselves. Because the message from the inner child is love, passion, excitement, and joy. And when we can tap into that, we can be playful and happy, and rainbows and butterflies and frogs and dragonflies. When we can really experience the joys of childhood and just fly and soar and leap and swim and experience it all, we can bring that into the now as an adult and make it practical to sustain us. Your vibes are welcome as well. Second message, again, is the magician. One more alchemical message is his hat. He has a ruffled, feathered hat blowing in the wind. He's sitting at a table on a box with a magic symbol that I'm not going to tell you, because there's about 80 symbols in this card. But I'm going to focus on his magic hat. So the magic hat allows him to see different shadows and different perspectives and movements, and he uses them to see the future and predict his movements and see the energies that are going to happen. So you can tell me when to stop, Pretty Patrick. Well, I'm an alchemist and I am an ancestor, so I have studied both of these groups very strongly, and this is probably my most infinite frequency. Okay, so your guides want you to really know very deeply and very infinitely that your spiral will go out forever because you have mastered your thoughts, you have mastered your action in a way that others cannot fully see, but you are infinitely connected to them. But it is phased out and has been worn out over time. But this is the natural way of telling you the spiral is infinite, though. Your blossom, it blossoms forever. Because you and those who you love and those who you care about are angelic, can fly amongst the infinite, but you hold within you the palace of magic, of the fairies, of the infinite, of the unknown. Don't be afraid. Know that it is love, it is kindness, it's collection, and it's co-creation. You have access to Agartha, the magic city of the hollow earth, within you, and you can connect to it always. Because the love you give and the love you share out to the world makes this world a better place. You do not need to use your spurs that you wear to move the horse. The horse knows where to go by your love for the horse. You can conquer everything in reality with love. If you give it the right frequency of love, everything bows down to your power and your glory. So, Pretty Patrick, there's your message, is you're connected to the open doors of positive inner magic of this inner earth. They love you above and below. Just continue to share your love with everybody and know that you are a beautiful, connective member of the unity mind of the universe. And thank you. I'm going to end this with this. Thank you to the moderator, Stephanie, to everyone here, now or in the future, to the ancestors and alchemists, and to the all. Much love and gratitude.